Hi, this is Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and a crafter. um, Today I have a project that holds 4 or 5 Ghirardelli squares. I made it for 4, but you can squeeze 5 in there if you wanted to make it nice and snug. I used the Everything Essentials stamp set, which has 2 Christmas, 2 Halloween, and 2 Valentine's Day stamps on it. And I'm using the pumpkin. Now this has a punch. There's a bundle with the punch, but I'm using the Delightful Tag Topper punch with this today. Okay, to start with the box, I am going to start with a piece of shaded spruce that is 7.5 by 6.5. And on the 7.5 inch side, with that side at the top, we're going to score at 1.5, 3.5, 5, and 7. Okay, and then we're going to turn it to the 6.5 inch side. And we're going to score at 1.5, 4.5, and 6. All right. Fold all these up. I've been doing a lot of Christmas because the new catalog came out and had a lot of Christmas in it, but I noticed somebody asked for Halloween stuff, so I figured I would do a Halloween one. Okay, and this is what we're going to do. Now we have this skinny rectangle across the top and one along the right side. And this is what we're going to cut out of it. Okay, so this is our flap, so we don't need any of this. We're going to cut this in half and this in half and get rid of this. And we're going to get rid of this piece. Okay? All right, so we're going to start with the skinny rectangle here, and there's the small rectangle at the bottom. And we're just going to take that out and wedge. Okay, and then we're going to keep the rectangle pieces straight and wedge a little bit out of the square pieces. And as I'm doing that, I cut out the score lines so there's no bumps. So I go close to it on the rectangle, and then I cut it out when I take a little wedge out of the square. Okay. All right, so that's the whole bottom done. Now for the top, we're going to be taking out all of this, okay, because we don't need this as an extra flap. We only want the one over here. Okay, and then since this is our flap, we're just going to cut the flap straight. Okay, and we're going to wedge these. You can leave the small rectangle on top of it for now if you want while you're wedging. And we're going to cut down the square almost to the half of the square, a little less than, a little over half. Okay, and now we'll go to the other side of this flap, and we're going to wedge this again. And then just cut a little less than half the square off. Okay, now we need the detail trio punch to round our corners of our flap. I'm just going to put it in square. Do the other side. Alrighty, and if I forgot to tell you, this turns out to be a box that is 3 inches by 2 inches by 1.5 inches. Alright, now we want to put our DSP, and for the DSP I used the Plaid Tidings 6x6, and we used the orange one. This would also look very cute with the background as purple, or you could do it in orange too. All right, we have 2 pieces of the DSP that are 2 3/4 by 1 3/4, and you need 2 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 1 1/4, and 1 piece that is 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. And I will put this all on my blog. Okay, we need our seal. I'm just going to attach all of them. All we really need to is attach this one so I can take a finger hole, but I figure since I'm doing one, I might as well do them all, get them done. I do believe this paper is still in stock, so if you want it, we still have it available. They said they weren't sure, but I guess it held out, thank goodness. Because there's like Halloween kinds and Christmas types of plaids and Thanksgiving fall plaids. Alrighty, and then just one for the lid. Okay, and then you're just going to take a small circle punch and take a finger hole right out of the other side from the lid. Okay, now we just need some tear and tape, and we're going to put it right over here, up next to the score line. Okay, and now this is going to be our back, so this is the front, so I need some on this too. This is going to be the final closing flap. And I will just close it, and that helps you make it really nice and square. And then we're going to put down the sides, the back, and then the front flap. And there's your box. Okay, for the stamping, we need a piece of Whisper White that is 1.5 inches wide, and we're going to use Delightful Tag type of punch. Put it in there. I'm just going to make sure it's nicely centered. Okay. And then I'm going to use the pumpkin image and the tuxedo black ink. Then I'm going to kind of nestle him up there and in the middle. Sorry over my head. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, and then we need a piece of pumpkin pie that is 1 3/4 inches wide while that dries. And we're going to just put this in. And Now we want to cut the pumpkin image down to 2 1/4. Okay, and then the pumpkin pie piece we're going to cut down to 2 1/2. Okay. Alrighty, so now that this has had a little bit of time to dry, I'm going to use the light and dark pumpkin pie. And all I do is I just put a little bit of the light in the middle of each of the little sections. And then I go around the outsides with the dark. And then I'm just going to blend them up with the light again. Make sure that any spots that I didn't hit with marker get hit. And I'll nicely blend it up. So you have a little bit of variation and some bright spots. Okay. Now we're going to put this together with some liquid adhesive. And I'm going to stay away from the top part because it's going to go through. So just put a little bit of glue. And I'm just going to make it have an equal border all the way around. Okay. Alright, now I got some basic rhinestones, and I'm going to use the dark shaded spruce, the pointy end, and I'm going to just color in these rhinestones to be green. Just going to let them dry a second. Okay. I'm going to put 2 on the stem. And then, oops. I'm just going to put them down on this corner. Okay. Alrighty, so now let's put our candy in. So I made it for 4, but when I did it, you could squeeze 5 in. And they didn't have the fall ones yet, so I'm just using the dark chocolate mint that was green. So usually they have the nice fall wrapper ones, but they're not out yet. So the 5th one kind of fits in, and they're really tight then. But they're not squishing each other, but they're snug. Alright, so then what I'm going to do is take some Daffodil Delight ruched ribbon. I'm going to tie a bow. Now the back is here, so I'm going to tie it so that they don't have to take this apart to open it up. They just lift the lid, so I'm just going to put a bow on the front. Okay. Okay, and then I need about, I think I took about 12 inches of, yeah, linen thread. I used my crocodile to just make sure that get the full punched hole because it's different on the back, and I forgot to put, well, I put the rhinestones on, so you might want to wait. And I have the little bats image here that I'm just going to put right there. Oops, that's all right. And then a little 2. And then a fro. And these are all from the stamp set. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to take my linen thread, I'm going to push it through the front, and then loop it back. Separate it and put these through. Okay, now all fixed here. And I'm just going to tie this on. I'll push this up a little bit. And I'm just going to put a double knot on this. And then I'm going to take my bone folder. I'm just going to pull it, and it'll start to curl it up a bit for you. Almost like curling ribbon, but not quite that tight. It'll give it a little bit of a kind of a viney kind of look. Okay. And there you have it. Your Ghirardelli treat box with the pumpkin theme. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to put some pretty Wink of Stella all over my pumpkin, make them sparkly. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. I would love it if you would subscribe. I do videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. And if you'd like to buy any of these products, you can shop with me at the top of the page. Thank you for stopping by. I will see you next time. Bye.